Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a groundbreaking journey into the world of education, where innovation meets evaluation. Today, we delve into the fascinating realm of process oriented performance based assessment. Today, we are going to witness the birth of a new era where the emphasis is not just in the final outcome but on the transformative journey that lead us there. So get ready to reimagine reporting as we unveil the captivating tale of process-oriented performance-based assessment. Here are the table of contents. First, the definition, the learning competencies, task designing, and scoring rubrics. First, discuss the definition of process-oriented performance-based assessment. So according to Navarro and Santos 2013, it's concerned with the actual task performance rather than the output or product of the activity. So a process is the procedure that student uses to complete a task. So in the statement of Navarro and Santos 2013, it means that the focus is on the process and the execution of the task itself rather than solely on the end result or the outcome. And according to Rags 2015, it means that it's talking about the step-by-step procedure or method that the students need to follow for them to accomplish the task successfully. So process-oriented performance assessment is a performance which fully focuses on an actual task. This is not very keen on the output or product of that task. In 2015. So it means that um, it's gain insights into the individual skills, competencies, and proficiency in performing the task rather than simply judging the quality or the outcome of their work. Next is the learning competencies. So these learning competencies are concerned with the procedures, process for the actual task performance. So the behavior to be observed among the learners must be observable, which must be reflected in the list of competencies. So it means that when creating a list of competencies, it is important to include specific behaviors or actions that can be observed, allowing educators to assess the learner's progress or mastery of the competencies. So, by making these behaviors explicit and measurable, so it becomes easier to determine whether the learners have successfully acquired the necessary skills and knowledge that related to the task at hand. So, defined as groups or clusters of skills and abilities for needed for a particular task. So, the objectives generally focus on those behaviors which exemplify a best practice for the particular task. Navarro and Santos 2013. So, in the statement of Navarro and Santos 2013, that the learning competencies are the set of skills and ability that are grouped together and required for the successful completion of the specific task. So these competencies are designed to outline the essential knowledge, abilities, and behaviors that individuals need to demonstrate in order to achieve the optimal performance in that particular task. So, below are the examples of learning competencies by Corpus and Portal 2021. First is recite a poem with feeling using appropriate voice quality, facial expressions, and hand gestures. English in grade 5. So the learning competency demonstrates the desired outcome of the learning activity. So the ability to effectively recite a poem by incorporating with feeling, appropriate voice quality, and facial expression in hand gestures. Next example is the perform a sketch on the importance of a national language, Mother Tongue Grade 3. So, individuals are expected to perform a skit that effectively conveys the importance of national language. So let's proceed to task designing. So according to Navarro and Santos 2013, learning tasks need to be carefully planned. In particular, the teacher must ensure that the particular learning process to be observed contributes to the overall understanding of the course. It means that in task designing, according to Navarro in Santos 2013, that the importance of aligning learning tasks with intended learning competencies. So the teacher plays a crucial role in ensuring that the tasks clearly define and support the specific skills and abilities that students are expected to acquire through the learning process. So, HINA 2015. So, whatever are the learning competencies that corresponds to the specific learning task. So, the role of the teacher is to it that the particular learning task clearly define the specific skills and abilities needed. So, it means that the teacher ensures that the learning competencies tasks are not disconnected from the desired learning outcomes. So instead, they are intentionally designed to provide opportunities for students to practice and develop the skills and abilities required to achieve the learning competencies. So the following points are needed to be considered in designing performance tasks. First is decide what to test. What does it mean? So it means that according to HINA 2015, that the list of objectives will guide the teacher what a specific learning activity and task will be performed by the learners. Next is design the assessment context. So it means that according to HINA 2015, that it is the role of the teacher to create a task, simulation, or situation on that will allow to demonstrate the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that they have required. So the task should center on issues, concepts, and problems that are important to the context area. Next is specify the scoring rubrics. So according to HINA 2015, that the teacher should develop a rubric best suited to the type of accomplishment he or she wanted to measure. So the performance criteria should be specific and observable. Now let's proceed to the scoring rubrics. The scoring rubrics. According to Navarro and Santos 2013, rubrics is a scoring skill used to assess student performance along a task. Rubrics is a generic scoring tool used to evaluate a student's performance in a given outcome area, McTighe and Hirara 1995. So, the authors state that rubrics are generic scoring tool, meaning that they can be applied to various types of tasks or assessment. So the purpose of using rubrics is to provide a um, clear framework or set of criteria against which a student's performance can be measured. So these criteria typically align with a specific learning outcomes or goals established for a particular subject. So according to Broldy 1998, a rating system by which teachers can determine at what level of proficiency a student is able to perform a task or display knowledge of a concept. So means that it provides a structured framework for evaluating student performance and helps teachers make informed judgments about students' abilities, strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. So there are two types of rubrics. First is the analytic rubrics and holistic rubrics. So let's first discuss the analytic rubrics. So involves the awarding of separate scores for different traits of students' work. So it's also used to evaluate the curriculum and instructional programs and to pinpoint areas in need of improvement by Buendeshu 2010. Means that by examining individual traits, teachers can gain deeper understanding of students' strengths and weaknesses across different areas of their work. So, providing feedback and identifying specific areas where improvement needed. So, here is the example of analytic rubric example for a speaking test. So as you can see in the picture, so they have different different scores in 4 different traits. First is the factual information, so the vocabulary and the correctness of language and fluency. So holistic rubrics is based on overall impression of a sample of student work looked at as a whole. It produces a single number and is used when a relatively quick yet consistent scoring method is needed. Bundeschu 2010. So when we say holistic rubrics, according to Bundeschu 2010, so this this method where a sample of student work is assessed as a whole, considering its overall quality and coherence, instead of evaluating specific traits or components individually. This method generates a single numerical score to represent the overall performance of the student. Here the example of holistic rubric example for a speaking. So as you can see in the picture, so exceeds expectation is the holistic rubric is per column is it indicates all of the performance that needed the student to demonstrate. So as you can see in the picture, it is the example of holistic rubric about example for speaking. So the holistic rubric is assessed as a whole. Unlike in the analytic rubric, it indicates different characteristics, different scores in different traits. So as you can see, the holistic rubric it indicates as a whole. It is more a specific it's more in single numerical score to represent the overall performance of the student. In conclusion, process-oriented performance-based assessment is a valuable approach to evaluating an individual's performance in various domains. So this assessment method focuses not only on the final outcome or product, but also on the steps and processes undertaken to achieve that outcome. So by considering the entire process, this type of assessment provides a more comprehensive and accurate picture of an individual's abilities, skills, and understanding. So that's all. So here is the references. So thank you for listening.